Hi, my name is Hunter Hassel, and today I'm going to be going over my research project. For my research project, I chose to make a brochure talking about water in the Wasatch Front and how it interacts with people in their general lives. I picked this topic because there seems to be a lot of people, specifically in Utah, who are either apathetic or who don't understand that there is any problems with the watershed, that being with Utah Lake or with just a general culture of not really caring about that, or air pollution for that matter. So I wanted to target that audience and try to help influence them, because if I can manage to target and influence that audience, that is the same audience that brings about that culture of indifference towards the environment in Utah Valley. So if we can influence them, then we can influence a greater change in Utah Valley towards actually caring about the environment, about eco-hydrology or air pollution. So because of this, my brochure was much more focused on a basic audience, somebody who doesn't really have a background in towards an audience of people who don't know about the issues. And at the same time, the reason why I specifically chose a brochure is because it's something that's very non-committal. Brochures are not a 20-page dense research paper that's going to take an hour or two to read. It's at most a 5-minute read. And in addition to that, I know a lot of this demographic who isn't necessarily informed on this topic is oftentimes a lot of the same people who, when they hear something on the news, they only, first of all, listen to things that they agree with. And second of all, they tend to sometimes believe that they're experts after minimally looking into something. So I wanted to get something that they couldn't literally scroll past, like a video. They literally have a brochure in their hand, and then they read it, and then they can feel like they understand an issue a little bit. So it can empower them. And the brochure's main goal was to reach that audience, give them a little background in eco-hydrology, specifically in drinking water, and in pollution and protection of their drinking water, and then giving them options and ideas on how to act on that. I think some of the biggest challenges and setbacks for this was not going too in depth. Honestly, there was a lot of opportunities to include some very rich details on the topics, but understanding this audience, that would not have been very effective, and it would have gone over their heads, and if anything, made them less likely to even finish the pamphlet. I think that the biggest surprise to me was where this idea stemmed from. I remember there was two main reasons why this idea came to me. First of all was when I was in middle school or high school in my town in Oregon. I remember going to a public event, like a summer fest or something, and there was a booth set up talking about the local drinking water. And the local drinking water in my hometown is very good, and that stuck out to me, and I never forgot that. And the booth talked about where it came from and why it was important that we protect it. And I was reminded of that a couple of years ago when I got this in the mail. It was a water quality report brochure, actually. And it was so fascinating and interesting to me, and just well made, that I haven't thrown it away. And I keep looking at it 3 years later, even though it's outdated, because I think that those brochures are powerful. And I think that was honestly what I'm gonna remember years from now, is that not only do I remember seeing those public works things for my own and receiving them in the mail, but now I was able to make one myself, which made me really happy.